Welcome back to Real Girl Talk Podcast Radio. I am your host, Sherry Ricard. I'm bringing you weekly interviews with fascinating guests, with action-packed episodes, highly relatable stories that help women reboot, regroup, and reinvent themselves in family, community, lifestyle, and business. And of course, always committed to keeping it real. Now let's dive in.
The loss of a loved one is a nearly universal emotional crisis. Unprocessed grief and painful feelings can be buried, leaving you to feel numb. But there is hope. Certified grief counselor, RN, and author Sherry Ricard shares her story of how to cope in her first book, Wake Up Call, A Mother's Grief Journey, after the loss of her 17-year-old son. This book, along with Sherry's other books, are available on Amazon as well as on sherryricard.com.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Real Girl Talk, and I am Sherry, your host. Today, I have Tara Oldridge. She is a mindset and business coach, speaker, philanthropist, a wife, and a mommy of two. She is a visionary and creator behind Step Into Your Abundance, which is a 7-figure business mindset program created to empower entrepreneurs and propel them towards success. This is an effective strategy, and she's going to tell us a little bit about Step Into the Abundance planner that she has coming out for 2020. But she really takes a lot of what she does and allows people to find their passions, purpose, and talents and really build a sustainable brand and for their business. Welcome to the show, Tara.
Oh man, thank you so much for having me.
I'm super excited to have you. So everyone that watched the Smart Woman show, Tara actually had me on her show, and it was really fun because she had a lot of incredible women, and I watched all of that entire series. It's not available anymore. Maybe it will be available next year. She'll let us know. But I want Tara to really jump in. We're going to dive in right now, and she's going to tell you a little bit about what she does as far as passions and purpose, and how you guys can use your talents to build a sustainable branded business.
Woo! That sets me on fire. I love this topic. I can talk about this every day, all day. It really fuels me. And
let's go, girl. Tell us.
So thank you for having me here so I can open up. And I was just thinking, passion is, and maybe I've evolved into this, Sherry, but I mean, passion is kind of BS.
Yeah.
For me, when I think about what I'm passionate about, that equates to ideas. And girl, I get ideas all day, every day, and they're good ideas. And so if I was just like passionate and following my passion every day, I wouldn't get anything done.
That's a good point, actually.
You know what I mean? And so my job on this planet, and I really think of it as a job that God Almighty has really tasked me to, and so I am being radically obedient, is to take all of that fire from the inside that we feel. And I love the name of your show, Real Girl Talk, because that's what we are. We're just a bunch of girls who are finally leveling up. Like I've never seen so many women on fire in this world. And we take that quote unquote passion and we anchor it to a purpose, because there's only one purpose that God gives us. And it has nothing to do with what we're passionate about, because passion is attached to emotions. And girl, if you're running your business, you're running your family, you're running your relationships on passion, your feelings are going to override, and that's not sustainable.
That's true. And I'm glad that you said that, Tara, because if you think about it, we're passionate about a lot of things. We're passionate about our kids and what we do on a daily life. But I think purpose translates into action. When we take action on the purpose. So tell someone, I get a lot of this. I get a lot of women that will come to me and say, Sherry, I have so many things that I'm excited about and I feel passionate about, but I really don't know what my purpose is. How do I find my purpose?
Yeah. So your purpose is something that scares you. It's not something that excites you. It's not something that you wake up every morning and you're feeling happy about. Your purpose is something that is scaring the living daylights out of you right now. And the only way into it is to step into it. And that goes for everything in life. You want a good marriage? You got to step into the areas of your marriage that you don't want to step into, like actually respecting your husband, like actually saying nice things to your husband, like actually going out of your way to make his day better and stop thinking about yourself.
Wow. Yes. Yes, girl, preach.
Right? And that's just marriage. Step into more financial freedom. Okay, well, you got to step into actually stop being so freaking emotional about money coming in and money going out,
Mm,
because you are suffocating your abundance by your emotions or your quote unquote passions in life ruling you.
right. And I think so many times I see women get caught up in, you're right, with the passions and the emotions, but their emotions fluctuate based on circumstances and what's
Yep.
going on around you. Because if you're truly taking actionable steps towards the purpose, your God-given purpose, based on your God-given talents and skills that God has gifted you with, then it doesn't matter what's happening around you. You should be able to step over those circumstances and keep pushing forward. But we get stuck. How do you get out of that? When you step into the mud of the circumstances, how do you step out of it?
It's a leadership conversation every
Mm-hmm.
single day. Every single day, I check into my leadership. Am I being 100% responsible for what I'm creating in this world? Period. And it has nothing to do with what I do. It really doesn't. It matters who I wake up in the morning and I choose to be. Am I choosing to be confident where I'm not confident? Am I choosing to be powerful in my mind? Am I managing my mind? Am I managing my words that are coming out of my mouth? I mean, this tongue is very powerful. Am I managing it? Am I operating from a place of love? And when I create from confidence, power, and love, girl, it doesn't matter what I decide to do because it's all happening anyway. Because when I operate from that core operating system of confidence and power and love, I'm going to create amazing things no matter what I do.
So you're talking to us about vision now. You're
Vision.
just you're creating a vision. So are you one like I am and very passionate about vision boards and really creating that vision using powerful words and images to create that vision for the next year?
So your audience can't see this right now, but I'm going to show you over there on the wall.
I
The
love
vision
it.
boards. So yes, I believe in vision boards. I also believe that you, again, I'm going to repeat myself because I really want to land this. Your vision has nothing to do. My vision board has New York City on it. New York City is just a passion. That's something fun, right? And so my next vision board, I'm going to be way more intentional. So you get to be mindful about what's going on your vision board, right? Because your vision board must only have things on it that you can sink your teeth into and you can be intentional about.
And, a lot of people realize that I have, well, it's actually going to be my second annual Create Your Life a Vision Board workshop that's going to be in January 2020. We had one this year in January and it sold out. So I'm going to expand it 15 seats and it's going to open here shortly for tickets, because I will tell you, these women got into a room. Half of them had never created a vision board before. They got in the room and they were on fire. I mean, communicating with one another and getting each other excited about their visions. And I told them to create a word for the year. My word this year was favor. And so people were creating this. One girl showed up with her word bloom cut into, I don't know what it was. It was some type of fabric that was already cut that had adhesive on it. And she did the word and brought it into the event and put it right in the center of her board and built her vision around her word for 2019 of bloom. And it was really cool. It was very creative. And I just saw so many women walk in and just everyday look on their face, and they left smiling and laughing and taking photos with their vision boards and so excited about the next one that was a year away.
Yeah.
And so I'm huge with vision boards. So tell me a little bit about what you do when you work with someone, because you're a coach and you have clients. How do you work with someone to create their vision?
Your vision equals your purpose. And whatever you can see, you can create. And so I host 4 events a year, and they're called Vision to Business. And what happens is we fill in the gaps because you already have everything you need right now to create whatever you can see in your mind. You don't need to get anything new. So I'm not really bringing anything new to the table. I'm just evoking what's already inside of you out. So when you come into my event, what we first do is figure out where you're impacting the world, because your why can't be attached to retiring your husband. Your why can't be attached to just making enough to pay your mortgage. Your why must be completely selfless. That is where your vision lies, is in your selfless act. I mean, let me ask you this. Would you be doing this podcast if it didn't make you any money?
Yes.
Right. Because you know that your guests are being hosted on a show that makes a difference for people listening, for your
Yeah.
audience.
Yes.
So
It's amazing the people that I've met and just the knowledge that I have consumed from my guest, with the tens of thousands. And now we're up to over 60,000 listeners for Real Girl Talk. I know it's impacting them as well, because the downloads are quadrupled over the last 2 months. So if it's impacting me, I know it's impacting them. Every single person I have on the show brings something completely different and brings something that we can walk away and take action steps towards.
yeah, that's right, girl. And so if you're listening to this and you haven't found your way to serve and impact the planet, that's where your purpose is. Because our purpose, it says it in scripture, and I don't want to get scriptural on you, but our purpose is to love. It was the only commandment that Jesus gave us. The only commandment. Did you know that? Jesus orders us to do one thing outside the 10 commandments. Love one another. And that's what you're doing here. You're loving one another. And so when you come to my event, Vision to Business, we figure out how you love, who you love, and who you show up for every single day, who you sink your teeth into every single day. And then we fill in the gaps, because guess what? The moment that you figure out who you serve, the enemy gets really pissed. And he sinks his teeth into you and he plays hardball. And that's where your limiting beliefs come in. And that's where you start telling yourself that you're not good enough. You're not worthy enough. You got daddy issues. You got money issues. You got all the issues that you can think of. And it all starts to feel super heavy. So we crush those at the event. We crush them. And we go through an exercise of just hammering out more. What's stopping you? Where do you stop yourself every single time? Because the next step is where I come in and I push you over the edge. And you fall. And guess what? Every single time you'll land on your feet.
Yeah. And I find too that some people I've had women that come to me and say, well, who am I to? Who am I to say that? Who am I to lead this group? Who am I to start a business? Who am I to do a podcast? And those were my thoughts. I'm guilty, completely authentic. When I started Real Girl Talk, it was simply just a challenge by one of my coaches, one of my mentors that I love. She's a dear friend of mine. And she challenged me to do Facebook Live. And I thought, I am not doing this. No one is going to listen to a word that I say. But I did it just to appease her. It turned into 6 weeks, every Wednesday, a Facebook Live called Real Girl Talk. And when I stopped, I started getting inbox messages. What happened to Real Girl Talk? We're not doing it anymore. And it was thousands of views. And I thought, okay, well, let's keep going. I mean, I've wrote 3 books. I wrote 3 books. My 3 books I've got plenty of content to share. And it was just me. But I got bored of myself sharing my own content. And I thought, no, I don't want to do this. And the podcast was born. Actually, Friday is my 1-year anniversary for Real Girl Talk. And when it was born, I thought, no, I want to share other women. I want other women to share their purpose. I want them to share about their businesses and what they've learned, because that's how we grow. I only know so much. And so I can learn from my guest, and my listeners learn from my guest, and we learn from you. So I want you to tell us a little bit about, when you're talking about the vision to business and you go into the event, Do you already have an idea of what you want your business to look like, or do you help us get there?
I help you get there. And here's what I really am very good at is reminding you and that thought, because everybody has that thought. Who am I to do this? We all do. I had it too. And it wasn't until somebody said to me, Tara, this is not about you. This is not about you.
Mm-hmm.
This is about everybody else. And so that's what I'm really good with. Once you, like I said, when you come in the room, we will find your purpose. It's not hard for me to see what your purpose is once you're in the room, and we'll work it out together. And then I'm going to tell you, you don't have a choice now, because once you discover your purpose, you can't turn back. Your heart won't even let you.
Right.
And so there's a lot of people and women that I work with that say, Tara, I've started so many things, multi-level marketing companies. I've gone through 5 of them, and I've started a book, haven't finished it. Great starters, not good finishers. But that's because you're following your passion. You're following your ideas. Now your husband doesn't believe in you anymore. You've lost your friends, your family, because you've started so many things, because you haven't found your purpose. Once you find your purpose, you can't turn back. And that's how you know you found it.
So the vision to business events are for the women that are very passionate. They have the ideas. However, it's to find their purpose so they can begin to take actionable steps towards the purpose. And you're right. Once you find your purpose on this planet, you can't go back. So beware, listeners. If you go to this event and you are not ready to find your purpose and not be able to turn back, once you do find a purpose of what your purpose is on this planet, because I believe everyone was born on purpose and for a purpose.
100%.
And once you find that, you are full force ahead. Full force ahead. So tell us a little bit about what you're creating for 2020 as far as this Step into Abundance planner.
So one of the biggest things about being in action, because action and what you actually do does matter. I don't want to take away from that. But you've got to get intentional. And if you've been in the habits of not being intentional, you're not going to create anything magnificent. You can't be the miracle that you've been intended to be. So I created a planner to keep you intentional and focused on one statement every month. So the first one, obviously, is vision. 30 days of figuring out what your vision is on this planet, where you're impactful, and then the rest of the year fills in the gaps. You focus on your finances, you focus on your health, you focus on your family, you focus on your business. And every month is a new intentional focus.
I like how you break it down into months, because I think a lot of times women stop. And I know I have seen myself do this, because we get overwhelmed with everything we want to do. My to-do list, my action list, everything is pages and pages and pages. And I think sometimes we do get caught up in having so many of those ideas and things that we're passionate about. Even though we know what our purpose is, we can also get derailed in doing other things. And we become overwhelmed with finances and family and community and everything that we have to do. Basically, life gets in the way for us to be able to do what we really know that we were sent here to do. So how does somebody stay on track if they get derailed?
Well, I'm just going to say this to you. If things are getting in the way, the only person who's in the way is you. If you're too busy, you've got an intimacy issue. You've got problems with connection. So get connected, zero in. If you're overwhelmed, girl, you're just unprepared or not committed enough. Which one is it? If you're unprepared, get a coach. If you're not committed enough, get a coach. Figure out what your vision and your purpose is, right? Get intentional. There's so much, and I listen to these podcasts and I listen to these, these conversations that kind of, to be very honest with you, are redundant. This is a simple formula. Get out of your way. Stop being an emotional wreck. Take some responsibility. Stand for something, and go for it.
Right. Exactly. Because I think a lot of times we get caught up in our own mindset of who am I? And I can't do this, or I don't know how to do this. And, I will preach from the rooftops that your biggest investment is in yourself. If you don't know how to do something, I say Google it. If you can't Google it and find your way in a timely manner, get a coach that's already been there.
I can't imagine not having a coach. I just can't imagine not having a coach.
I can't imagine not having a coach on things that I have no clue on how to do.
Right.
I know that when my first book came out, Wake Up Call, Mother's Grief Journey, I had a publisher that published that book, and it did not go as planned because I had a vision for that book and we saw different visions, because that book was my entire story of my son dying and how I began healing from that. That was mine. And it took me 7 years journaling before that book was ever born. So for somebody that doesn't have that heart connection to the book and take it in a totally different path was disheartening. So to take the book back and have to figure that out on my own, it took a year for me to figure that out, which is why I created my online course Writer's Roadmap, because it will literally take you through in 30 days. You can write, publish, and market a book for free. And I can show you how to do it. And because I wish that I had had that. So that all goes back to finding a coach or finding someone that can help and guide you, mentor you into a place that you have never been to before, but that you want to go. Find someone that's already walked that path. So with the planner, when we're talking about the Step into Abundance planner and you take it down month by month, when you do that, walk us a little bit through, like give us a creation of what we're going to do on a daily. Or we changing our routines, or we taking something that we already know. How do we create that? And in a year, actually have our purpose and feel more abundant, because that's what we're doing, right? We're stepping into our abundance.
For the first month, for example, every month is completely different. The exercises they change.
Okay.
And so for the first month, it's vision. And so vision is all about vision board. So that's exactly what we do in the first month. And then I back up every month with daily affirmations. And so I encourage everybody to get Post-it notes and put them all over their mirrors. So if you have a vision, you're not going to feel worthy of that vision board. I've got diamond earrings on my vision board that I even myself don't feel worthy of. And so I had Post-it notes all over the place telling me, I am worthy. I am worthy. And every day for 30 days or 31 days or 28 days, whatever, how many days are in a month, that affirmation is my daily. It's my go-to. It's my anchor.
Wow.
So for family, the affirmation is, I am connected. I am connected, because guess what? Connection is currency. When you can connect with your family, you can connect on a daily with just the strangers that are walking down the street. You don't know what you're missing. And when you're connected, you open up channels from the universe and from God that you didn't even know were available to you.
That is so, Tara. Okay. So I'm getting excited because I know what my visions are for 2020. I see them and I'm already taking actionable steps, but I haven't created the vision board yet. I typically do that before I have my vision board workshop, because I bring it as an example. And so I already had just a few things pop into my head. I just had a few visions that I know that need to be on my board for me able to stay focused, because they're going to be difficult. They're going to be difficult. I need to be able to see it.
And they're probably difficult because you don't feel worthy of them yet.
Yeah. I think a lot of times we don't.
Of course, we're human.
Right. Exactly. Now, I want to shift a little bit, because you have something that's going on that I find very interesting. Talk to us a little bit about LEquity.
So I'm a massive advocate for women and women entrepreneurs, because it's tough. Did you know that, and this statistic blew my mind, and then it made me sick, that only 3% of venture capital money is set aside for women and minorities? My husband and I, and a long story short, we were on our honeymoon, and I was trying to show him, because he's a master at numbers. He's a master at business plans. He's just phenomenally brilliant. And I said to him, listen, babe, I want to scale my business quickly. I'm all about quantum leaping. I think that there's no reason to go slow at anything, especially when you've got God on your side. So I said to him, I said, honey, show me how to scale my business quickly. I said, and I'm not talking monetarily. I'm talking about impact. So I'm looking more at scaling it as audience wise rather than monetarily wise. He goes, okay, great. So long story short, he comes up with this plan of 1,000 women, entrepreneurial women, investing in a fund. So like a venture capital fund that only funds female, heart-centered, purpose-driven entrepreneurship. So for you, scaling your podcast, scaling your book, your publishing, scaling your coaching programs, whatever it is that you have out there that is already doing great, but just needs a little boost. Maybe it needs 50 grand or 100 grand. Maybe you want to host a really large event next year for your vision boards, but you need 100 grand because events cost money.
Right.
And you can borrow money from this fund. You show up to a bank and tell them you need 100 grand to host an event for heart-centered entrepreneurs, female heart-centered entrepreneurs. They're going to laugh at you.
A big deny. I've never seen it, but I know they have a big stamp that says deny.
Yeah.
I've seen it on the movies.
That's so true. And if you get close enough to them actually thinking, okay, maybe this girl's onto something. They want your fingerprints. They want to know, if your newborn child has a trust fund. They want to know what your husband does. They want backup, a mile long. It's just, women have come a long way, but we're not even close. We're not even close to being as powerful as we should be. And so that's what LEquity is. And so what we've realized with LEquity is that it can't just be a fund. It needs to be about camaraderie because women are tribal and we're instinctively tribal. I mean, look at you. You're doing this podcast. You just want to gather women up and talk. We want to talk.
Right.
And so we've designed a community wrapped around a core educational curriculum of all the top influencers in the world who are going to give their curriculums to LEquity. Because education's free. I'm telling you right now, gone are the days of the $25,000 coach. It's just $25,000. Education's turning free.
Right.
And so we are creating the platform for female entrepreneurs to come and educate themselves from everything from being unworthy to being a great wife or partner to building their business out, scaling their business, taking it from 6 figures to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9. Structuring it for sale for $300 million, whatever level you're at in your entrepreneurship, this core curriculum will offer you that. And guess what? It's $49 a month.
Wow.
And that, my friend, is where entrepreneurship is going.
Wow. So for $49 a month, someone can have access to all of these women that have all of this knowledge, basically.
Yeah, and it's not even just going to be women, but we have some very powerful men, because let's be clear, we need our men, and we got to start treating our men with more respect.
Right.
Right? This female movement is not about bringing the men down. It's about linking arms and finally showing them that we can be powerful, not needy, not whiny, not aggressive, not feminist.
Hey, listen, I am still that girl. When you open that door for me, thank you. And I've seen women literally be offended that a man steps ahead of her to open a door at a restaurant. What is wrong with this society? What is wrong with us?
There's a lot wrong, and it's going to take a hard stand. It's going to take honesty and truth and people actually talking about the truth. I mean, it's like someone's got to show up and tell you, you know what? You are being aggressive and ungrateful. Who in your friend circle, who out of the 5 people that you surround yourself with is being honest with you? Because I got to tell you, I've got friends that tell me who I'm showing up as. And I love it because I've learned to be responsible.
Yes, you need that. I preach that, and I put that in my book, Strong Women, that you are the sum of the 5 people that you keep closest to you. And that includes family and friends. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes we have family members that bring us down. We'll have family members. I have friends that are estranged from their mothers because they cannot encompass that negative relationship anymore, with good reason. And they've chosen themselves over living in that negative mindset that they have with their mother or their family member.
Yeah, and I'll add this because I've got mommy issues. I do. But once I took responsibility and looked at who I was showing up for my mom, who I was showing up as a daughter, was I honoring my mom? No. Was I respecting my mom as I'm called to? No, I wasn't. And so guess what? When I show up loving and compassionate and honoring my mother, my mom shifts right in front of my eyes. And she softens. I don't recommend anybody cutting their parents off. You are to honor, cherish, love, respect, and bring your parents in and listen to them because you chose your parents. So cutting them off isn't going to serve you. Look in the mirror, girlfriend. Who are you showing up as a daughter?
Who are you showing up as a friend? A lot of times we expect friends, but we're not a friend in return.
Who are you showing up as a wife? Who are you showing up as a mother? You looking at your kids, they're having temper tantrums all the time. Your teenagers are disrespectful. Do you respect your kids?
That's a good point.
Here's the point. What you see in this world is who you are showing up as. We are just giant mirrors for each other.
So true. Tara, I can talk to you all day, but I know that you have a gift for just the listeners of Real Girl Talk. What is your gift for everyone today?
Yeah, my planner is $997, and I'm super excited to launch it next year in 2020. And if you are a listener who is ready to get intentional and sink your teeth into your vision and not turn back, I'll give it to you. But here's what I don't like about giving things away. I'm happy to give it away on your show, but just know this. You're probably not going to do it because there's no energy on it. And that's what stepping into abundance is really all about, is noticing that money is a tool. Money is just energy. And so you'll likely click on the link and download the planner, and you'll be really impressed for the first maybe 30 days. You'll love it. You'll see shifts and changes. You'll likely quit. And so when you quit, find me.
When you're giving something away, they didn't invest in themselves. There was no commitment into that. It was just something that was handed to them. But I do appreciate you giving that to the Real Girl Talk listeners. How can they get that from you so that you know that, because it is only for the Real Girl Talk listeners, guys, that you can get this planner. It is $99.97. It launches in 2020, but it is going to be yours free from Tara Oldridge. But she needs to know that you heard it here from the show. What do you want them to do to get that?
Head over to my website, and there will be a pop-up that will lead you to a promo code. And when you type in the promo code, you can type in Real Girl Talk.
Perfect. Type in Real Girl Talk, guys, into the promo code, and Tara is going to give you that planner for free. Take advantage of this situation. And like Tara said, if you get stuck, reach out to Tara. She is a business coach. She is very strategic in her planning for women to be able to walk into their purpose and take actionable steps. Don't be stagnant. Don't sit there and say, I'm not good enough. Why me? I don't have what it takes. That's negative self-talk. And you remember what Tara said, the power of the tongue. The power of the tongue can be positive, and it can also be negative. You can tear yourself down and get stuck in the mud with that bad negative tongue talk. So you're always going to speak positive to yourself. Thank you, Tara, so much for being on the show. I really, really appreciate you today.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
And tell everybody where they can find you on social media as well.
Yeah, everything is Tara Oldridge. So taraoldridge.com, the Tara Oldridge on Instagram. You'll find me. I'm there.
Perfect. And guys, thank you so much for joining me again on Real Girl Talk. Remember, step into your purpose. Keep your faith in God. Keep that encouragement tank full. Try something that you've never tried before. And until next week, have a blessed, blessed day.